అందరికీ నమస్కారాలు. ప్రణవ స్వరూపుడును త్రిగుణాత్మకమగు ప్రకృతిపరమైన వాడును తురీయ రూపుడును మనస్సును ప్రకాశింపజేయువాడును తేజోరూపుడును సింధూర కాంతి గలవాడును సకల కళ్యాణ గుణమయుడును గజముఖుడును సర్వవ్యాపిగునగు విఘ్నేశ్వరుని యోగులు బ్రహ్మరంధ్రమున పరబ్రహ్మకము కొరకై ధ్యానించుచున్నారు. అదేవిధంగా శ్రీ సరస్వతి ప్రార్థన. యవ్వతే మల్లియవలే చంద్రుని వలే మంచు వలె ముత్యాలహారము వలె తెల్లని శరీరము గలదియో యవ్వతే తెల్లని వస్త్రము చేత అలంకరింపబడినదయో యవ్వతే వీణ యొక్క శ్రేష్టమైన దండము చేత అలంకరింపబడిన కరము గలదియో యవ్వతే తెల్లని పద్మమును ఆసనముగా గలదియో యవ్వతే బ్రహ్మ విష్ణువు శంకరుడు మొదలు గాగల దేవతల చేత సదా పూజింపబడినదియో అట్టి షడ్గుణైశ్వర్య సంపన్నురాలును నిశేషముగా జడత్వమును పోగొట్టినది నగు సరస్వతి నన్ను రక్షించుగాక. ఆ సరస్వతీదేవి మనల్ని రక్షిస్తుందని, ఆ విఘ్నేశ్వరుడు మనకు ఎటువంటి విఘ్నాలు లేకుండా జరుపుతారని చెప్పి ఆశిస్తూ, ముందుగా ఏంటమ్మా ఫస్ట్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్ కదా. హలో హలో ఎవరు కొత్తగా ఎవరెవరు వచ్చారు చెప్తే పేర్లు, వాళ్ళ ఇంట్రడక్షన్ నేను చేస్తాను. సుమిత్రానంద్ you have to introduce yourself.
Good morning everybody. This is Sumitranand. I am working as a software engineer. I am basically from Kavali.
Okay, who else are there?
Nobody, sir.
Sumitranand?
Yes.
Contact contact Maheshwari. She wants to join. You have our number, na?
Yes, sir. I have her number.
Please contact her. Ask her to connect herself. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now we'll go definitely the previous lecture. What are the previous lectures we had? Anybody? 2 lectures we had. What is the first lecture? It is introduction of several aspects including our schedule of the program and also constitution and other things. In general about what is law, what is constitution, how and why we made constitution, whether constitution has got validity or not. Then thereafter next class, that is the second class day before yesterday itself, that is in respect of pleadings. So in 2 sentences I will complete what is being taught to all of you yesterday and day before yesterday. For approaching any court, we need to know what is our case, what our client wants to submit to the court. For that we put applications, plaints and other things. So what is being written in the plaint and written statement or complaint, the procedural code defines what it is called. In some legal systems, whatever you write in the criminal case or civil case, that is pleading. But in India it's not like that. Am I correct? In India only the contents in the permitted proceedings are called pleadings. we have got two types of laws. One is procedural laws, another is substantive laws. Civil Procedure Code and Criminal Procedure Code, they are procedural laws. There are other substantive laws like Hindu Marriage Act or whatever it is. In respect of Civil Procedure Code, we have to know first of all that pleadings are very important, because we approach the court by presenting the plaint. Whenever you approach the court by presenting the plaint, you are going to submit your case to the court. So Civil Procedure Code, as per Order 6, 7 and other provisions, clearly says whatever you write in the plaint and written statement are pleadings, and whatever you write in plaintiff's written statement and the defendant's additional written statement, they are supplemental pleadings. To this extent we understood already. Then there are rules of pleadings. What are those rules? Basic or fundamental rules. And second one is particulars or other rules. In one sentence we can say what are basic or fundamental rules, or that sentence is that you shall not plead evidence and law in the plaint or written statement or in any pleadings. First thing. Second is you have to plead material facts. Material facts are those facts which are necessary absolutely, and they include you all those facts which upon the plaintiff's counsel depends to prove his claim. And likewise, what the defendant pleads in his written statement. These are all called material facts. In order to know what is a material fact, what is not a material fact, the test is, if you are not able to prove that fact, you are going to lose the case. If that is so, then it is a material fact. Material facts will be inclusive of all those facts which you have to require to prove by placing evidence in order to win your case or defeat the other's case. When you know that you should not include evidence or law in the plaint, you must understand the facts which need to be proved are called facts prabandha. The facts through which you prove, such as documents and other things, they call facts prabanshya. So facts prabandha you plead, fact prabanshya, that is evidence you place in order to prove the facts. So you should mention material facts in concise manner. So to this extent we call it as basic principles of law. Then particulars are other rules which we can say necessary for drafting the plaint or written statement are already stated to all of you, like you should mention dates and items particulars when you are pleading about fraud, misrepresentation, breach of trust, undue influence or willful default. Likewise, unless and until you are permitted by way of amendment, you can't take inconsistent pleas. Otherwise, law permits to do so. So any conditional precedent, then you have to mention the same in the pleadings. If you plead a contract by denying it, it is only the facts of the contract and not its validity, enforceability and legality. The fifth rule is, yesterday I have given already a paper to you. The fifth rule is, wherever malice, practice, intention, knowledge or other condition of the mind of person is material, then you have to allege the same without pleading the circumstances. There is no need to plead the facts in verbatim unless they are material facts. Regarding notice, if the other side denies, you have to mention the dates and other particulars of the notice, otherwise not necessary. Implied relations need not be pleaded. Conversation, series of conversations and details need not be pleaded. You can generally say so. On whom the onus of proof is there, that is also not required to be pleaded. Every pleading shall be signed by the party and advocates. Under what circumstances, without signatures, you can plead, you can file the plaint. I have already stated. A pleading may be ordered to be struck down by court of law if it is scandalous, frivolous, unnecessary or intended towards embarrassing, prejudicing or delaying a fair trial in the court. Amendments are permitted only by the court. All pleadings shall be divided in paragraphs. Wherever it is necessary, you should number it. Dates, sums and any totals shall be expressed in figures and as well as in words. Why all these things? They are for giving clarity of the pleadings. Then we can use the appendixes that are available in the fag end of the CPC by way of forms for drafting your pleadings or plaint or whatever you call. Then Order 6, Rules 17 and 18. They deal with what? Amendments. And amendments shall be carried out within 14 days. So, pleadings form the backbone of any legal suit. It is guidance in the whole journey of the suit. What is the guidance? The pleadings guide the parties, advocates and the judge to know what is the case of each other and to decide the disputes in between the parties and then to give a judgment. So the pleadings must be in accordance with the permitted rules of law. These provisions are aimed for what? In order to strike a balance in the society and to achieve the ultimate ends of justice speedily. Fundamental rules of pleadings along with amendments are prescribed in CPC for what? In order to have clarity and to achieve the ultimate ends of justice. And while stating all these things, I have stated about what is law as per Article 13(3), and I said what is evidence as per Section 3 of the Evidence Act. I think all of you who attended yesterday and day before yesterday, you all understood all this. To this extent, just for your remembrance, I have stated, and for the newcomers also, it is easy to understand for the next lecture. So I have stated all these things.